Hey, this is the F1 Snack Zone, and today, once again, we're getting right into it. We're going to go over this new release. Well, it's technically a virtual launch of the Haas VF24. So, their car for this season. We're going to take a look at it here and give you my thoughts. So, yeah, just this is the picture of the front view of the car, and it pretty much looks standard, I guess, right? So, the front wing is essentially the same as last year. Nothing really super special about it, especially when you compare it to some of the other teams. And then the same kind of goes for the front suspension, right? So I know there's been a lot of controversy with regards to what the best type of suspension is, a push rod, a pull rod suspension. And so typically Haas will copy whatever Ferrari is doing. So if this virtual launch is being accurate and correct, then this is what their suspension will look like. And yeah, that will likely also be whatever Ferrari suspension is for this coming season. So nothing really crazy there. And so looking at these side pods, this is kind of a bit different to last year's side pods. So let's take a look here. You can see the top view is showing you last year's car, and then the bottom view, the bottom image is this year's car. So a couple things changed with regards to the side pod. You could see that it is a bit more aggressive of a downwash towards the front of the side pod going down towards the middle. So that's kind of going along the lines of what Red Bull has in a way, but honestly, it's not quite as aggressive as Red Bull. This kind of gives me a little bit more Aston Martin vibes, as well as the top of the side pod, which we'll kind of look at here in a minute. But yeah, and then the top of the engine cover, all of that looks a little bit bulkier and bigger. So I'm assuming that this year's car, once again on the bottom, you can see it kind of has a bigger. I don't know, it looks like it just allows a little bit more air to go through there, both on the top and then also towards the bottom, all the way out towards the back. So, yeah, I think that last year they had a lot of cooling issues. And so this year they're probably trying to allow more air to kind of get in there and prevent them having to open up those like side gill ventilation looking things. So yeah, I think the more of those that you have, typically that can actually slow the car down. So anyways, that's kind of like the side view. Obviously, since this is a virtual release, the bottom of the floor below the side pod usually has a bunch of like really intricate cutouts and super unique designs that each team likes to keep very secretive until they actually start testing the car in real life. So they're not going to give away any of those intricacies just yet, since it's still a little bit early and they don't want to give any other teams any ideas. So that's kind of like the side view of the car. And then also one other thing is the actual very, very front of the side pod where the air kind of initially comes in. That's a quite different shape. It's very it looks a little bit more slim. And so if we look at a top view, right here, we have last year's car on the top and then this year's car on the bottom. You can see that last year's car actually had the side pods go further out, whereas this year it looks like they're kind of bringing those in more towards the center of the car. I'm not really sure what that does to the balance. I would assume it kind of, I don't know, maybe makes things a little bit more predictable for the driver. But yeah, I'm guessing that they're kind of pretty much copying a little bit more of what Aston Martin has in terms of the side pods and the downwash that's creating out towards the back. So, and again, you can see a little bit of the difference in the engine cover towards the back where the back suspension is. That looks a little bit wider where the number 27 is. It's kind of making my case here that they're trying to get more air out through the engine to keep things cool. So, yeah, I mean, that's the car in a nutshell. I think that it's nothing super mind-boggling, which is to be expected from this particular team. I still think they're going to be at the back of the grid, and I don't know. Hopefully, they surprise us. Hopefully, their tires do better because last year, man, that car was just shredding those tires even more so than the Ferrari. So, Anyways, just wanted to give you some quick thoughts on that. This car, it looks pretty good. I just don't think it's really going to be enough to be extremely competitive this year, unfortunately, with all of the other teams kind of taking much bigger leaps and bounds and risks with regards to their design. So anyways, I'll catch you all on the next one. See you later.